Okay, so welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me tonight on this continuation of Avazzia and consciousness. And boy, I'll tell you, these instruments know what they're here for, and they're here for such a time as now. So let's all start by let's just breathing. And I'm just going to invite everybody to put their hands on their heart. And let's just take a deep breath in. And bring all your awareness back inside of you. Just kind of let everything go from the day. And just, again, close your eyes, take a breath in. And we're just going to connect inside. And just one more cleansing breath. And exhale, bringing all your soul's energy into you and let everything else fall away. And while we're in this place, we're just gonna say, and you can say this out loud to yourself inside, body, I'm so excited to show you the way up. And then notice what happens. Notice if you don't get a shift in energy. So I know my cells went, ooh, we're going up. Oh, good, good, good. So like I said, welcome everybody. And just again, this is about how do we use this amazing device that has agreed to support us through this change through our physical vehicle or with our physical vehicle for such a time as now. And we're not talking about the actual protocols of things you can do, because bottom line, consciousness trumps everything. So let's breathe with that. And when you start connecting with your device in that way, it becomes an extremely intuitive exercise. And it really starts talking to you and leading you if you can get your thinking mind out of the way. So sometimes I find it helpful. Let's just take that part that wants to know, wants to figure things out, wants to understand. Let's go, thank you. And we're just going to set it aside. We can put that back on after we're done here. But we're just going to really let our intuitive nature, our being self, guide this experience with the body. So as we spoke of last time, I encouraged everybody to name their device. So if you haven't done that, it's really easy. I just like to connect with it through just like touching it. And I just close my eyes and I ask, what's your name? And then just trust whatever you get. Now, if you don't get the name you want, it's as it knows itself. So you have to, again, back out of the way and say, oh, very good. But everything is consciousness. And when you start to have these relationships with things around you, it becomes like Beauty and the Beast. Everything starts to talk and it gets really, really fun. So that's the first thing I would encourage you to do if you haven't done that yet. And if you don't want to do it now, that's fine, but take some time to do that and just see if you don't start to have a different experience. I know one gal shared with me from the last call after she watched it, she goes, I never even considered naming my device. And she said, I feel like it worked better. So remember, the universe, everything is at our back. Everything is beckoning for us to remember and wants this to support us in that journey. But we have to let go of how we think things should go, because the more we just hands off the wheel, the more the knowing and everything that is there to support you is revealed. And so some assembly required with all that. We all know that, you know, how our mind, our ego, our human self wants to go, I want to grab the wheel. I think I know how to do this. And there might be an easier, faster way. So what we're going to talk about and do tonight, first of all, let me just see a show of hands. How many people played with the protocol I sent out last time? Anybody play with it? If you haven't, and you haven't gotten the link to the replay, just text me or whatever. I'll make sure you just get it directly through a text and do that. It basically was using the pads, the TENS pads, and working from the thighs on each, one pad on each side, the thighs down in 4 different places. And then there was an affirmation to say. And what has gotten revealed, or how the Avazzia is speaking to Mara and I, it says it is teaching the body. It's teaching the body how the soul is to run the energy through the body. Now, that's very different than how our, let's say, our human has run energy through our vehicle. As more and more as we're embodying our soul's energy, that's a very different frequency for the body. It's a very different way of utilizing energy. And so what I really am experiencing with the Avazzia right now is it's a quick way to teach the body, no, you're doing it. No, not this way. Go this way. This is the way we want to do it. And then the body looks at it and goes, oh, that way? Yeah, this way. Let's practice. And then it steers the energy into this more aligned, direct soul pathway that will help in the expansion of consciousness. And remember, the body, in the body lies the knowing. So let's just breathe with that. And you might want to even say that, in my body lies the knowing, and then take a breath. In my body lies the knowing. In my body lies the knowing. All our answers are inside, and we're getting better and better and better at accessing it and remembering to ask the body, because all that wisdom from the ages, all our experiences here are encoded in this body. And as we're moving along here, we are going higher and higher in frequency, but the body has to come along and catch up with our consciousness, so to speak. And all the things that's happening around us with the energy shifting, and all the ways let's say the body, there was a time capsule inside the body. We had put away memories from way past of all these magical things this body was capable of. And now the clock, the combination of the body started unlocking in about 2017. And it basically started waking up the body. And so then it's starting to activate the DNA in a different way. It's starting to work on a completely new stream, if you will, of energy or consciousness. And so anything that isn't in alignment with that, the body starts talking to you and has to let you know. It's like a little kid. I see it like a little kid pulling on my shirt. Mom, pay attention here. Something here doesn't belong here anymore. Would you clean out this corner? And that could be our stuck emotions. And that's why anybody that's worked with me knows about how we've worked with the core 4 emotions and how important that is in moving that energy through the body and identifying it, giving it a voice so it can just go. Congestion in the body also can be from, let's say, a habit. The body was a lot like the human in that our human loved to go unconscious, and the body would just adapt when something got out of alignment. If it didn't get corrected right away by our consciousness, then the body would just adapt and then start letting it be okay, and didn't give the pain signal out anymore. So then people, the humans would go, wow, I think I'm better. But it wasn't that necessarily things were lined up again. It was that the body had adapted to a habitual way of doing things, or sitting a certain way, or whatever we used to do. But now it's like it's shutting off the time capsule. The timer has gone off inside the body, and it says, "Woo, we get to go up now. It's time to ascend and bring in more light and hold more light and be able to remember these amazing capacities that's available when the DNA is reorganized in a different way and starts working in a different way." So hopefully everybody kind of tracked all that. So I'm just going to kind of use some notes tonight, because this was like a download Mara brought in. So I just am going to kind of read it to you, because I haven't had time to complete. Usually I integrate the stuff she shares, and then I can put it in my own words. But this, we've been on the road, so I really haven't had the time to integrate this. So here it goes. So what she was bringing in is that the Avazzia in general, it's good to use it. This is what it was sharing with us. It's good to use it in the morning and the evening. So what it says, if you use it in the morning, you are working with the magnetic Earth's energy. Okay, so the energy, the magnetic Earth's energy, and it can really change the polarity within your body. So what does that mean? Well, some of us know, some of us didn't pay attention or didn't care, that the cells have a positive negative spin. It was like an ion exchange. And sometimes those would get off kilter, let's say out of orbit. This is what it's saying to me now. It got out of orbit. And so then, because that oscillating wasn't occurring in alignment with the rest of the body, then there would be a disruption in energy and impedance. And so then the body couldn't maybe utilize nutrition the way it once did. It maybe couldn't run the energy to the muscles and keep that muscle strong like it once did. There was a lot of ways the body went offline with that. So remember, as within, so without. So as we're getting these downloads, I guess is the only word I have for it, these huge energy influxes from the solar, from the sun and the ionosphere and the earth, and everything shifting around us, everything shifting within us as well. So by doing this AM Avazzia, giving it, I almost see it like a jump start for the day. We're actually helping you can access greater mineral support. And that's inside and outside at the same time from the Earth's energy. So as we move along here, less and less are we going to require supplements to keep this body well. In the old energy, when we would go offline, let's say, I like that orbital visual. For me, that works. Like it got wobbly or whatever, then it wasn't accessing what was required to keep the body well, and those were important. But the more we expand and bring in light and unlock the DNA and activate it, the less and less those are going to be required by the body, because the body's got to remember how to do this for itself. Now, I'm not saying stop your supplements. Please hear me. If that is something that is supporting you at this time, you will, what I am saying is listen to your body, check in, don't just do it habitually, or if you're doing it, I would do it consciously and say, okay, body, I'm supporting you with the memory of magnesium. Here you go. I'm going to give it to you till you remember how to do it for yourself. Okay. So that's a way you can start supporting the body. And also, this is why I'm not going to tell you what to do or what not to do. I'm going to throw out some ideas. And ultimately, it's your responsibility to be responsible to this vehicle and your body's energy that's speaking to you. And it's up to you to listen and trust that impulse, that sense, that knowing of, well, I don't know, I just don't feel like taking this today. Body, do you want it? I mean, you can ask it as simple as that. Body, do you want this? And our intuition, our clear cognizance, remember, we got all that brain rewiring starting last summer with clear cognizance, clear cognitive thinking, if you will. You'll get an answer. It'll be obvious. So what I really want to say is trust. And if you feel like, oh, I don't know if I got in the way of that answer, and you're not sure, a good way to bypass the ego mind, let's say, is to just ask, clear answer, please. Because the mind will go, I don't know what the clear answer is. How can I, how can I have control here? Because I don't know what the answer is. So by saying clear answer, you'll get that snap intuition again, and then trust and go with that. And really, bottom line, does it feel good? Yay, feels good, go. If it doesn't feel good, if it feels whatever, don't. I mean, we're really at this point of no, and that's both ways, N-O and K-N-O-W. So that's the morning, using your Avazzia in the morning. I used, when I first got this, I would say, using this Avazzia is like brushing your teeth. It just like, you should do it morning and night, and just it energizes the cells. That's all the verbiage I had for it back then. That was my sense, my feeling of it. But it actually made you feel well. It energized your wellness. So this morning and night thing is in alignment with that. And it's just expanded upon itself based on what's happening currently with the energy of now. And it's actually giving us some information, which our mind loves, that, oh, wow, we're actually supporting our body in that way. So let's look at using it in the PM. And this would be closer to when you are laying yourself down for rest time. Remember, as you expand in consciousness, you really don't require sleep anymore. We've been asleep. Thank you. I am done with that. But the body does require rest time, and rest time is a way for the body, obviously, and for your consciousness to integrate, to move, to shift, to let go, and to wake up anew. And more, that's what our night time is this regeneration process, which is what it was always intended to do, but whatever, didn't always work out that way. So using it in the PM, you're working with the moon and water energy. So moon energy, the divine goddess energy, the divine feminine energy, the water, the emotions, the flow of living. You're working with all that energy as you do it in the evening. And then as you're sleeping, the ionization of your body occurs within. Remember, we said the cells have a plus minus ion exchange. So there's this new ion. There's these new ions that we've been receiving as codes that have been written for such a time as now, that are being unlocked within us. And it's supporting that process. And also, I feel like it would also support that emotions, cleaning up your day emotionally before you rest. And if you don't do this, I would invite you to entertain doing something just briefly before you rest, is say, what do I require? Did I clean everything up today? Meaning, emotionally? Is everything complete, or is there something feels unfinished? Did something feel like it didn't get resolved? And if it didn't get resolved, then just ask yourself that simple question. What's here? Anger, sadness, worry, lonely. I mean, it's simple. You got 4 choices. And then start breathing. And just so, yeah, I felt angry when someone said that today, or I felt worried when I heard that today, or I felt lonely that I wasn't included. Whatever it was, you want to stay as current as possible with those emotions, because that more than anything will stop this new soul energy flow. Okay. Okay. Oh, and this is the benefit. So you do the AM, you do the PM. And again, there's this whole thing happening with the clock and time and AM and PM and all the codes, which we don't have to necessarily go into. You all know this inside of you. It's known by us. It's not necessarily everybody's soul journey to have that consciously, but the next day, then after you've done the AM and PM, it says you're going to have a bridging into a higher vitality. So I don't see a downside to this. And, you know, have it easily accessible. I know a lot of us, we just kind of have it with us. It's just part of us. Now, there's also something I want to address right now. We're not using the Avazzia as an outsourcing of our power. I want to be very clear. This is a helper that said, I've come for such a time as now to support you in your next, until you remember how to do this for yourself. Okay, so we're not giving this device our personal power. We are inviting it in as a helper tool. And you want to be very clear with that. You don't need this. It's a gift from the universe to have it. Okay, so we want to be very clear with that. So a higher vitality the next day. Let's say, how do I want to put this? Most of us would agree we have no more time, let's say. Like, our perception of time is pretty much out the window, because more and more I feel like we're just being crammed, squished into this now moment, into this moment of, well, what's here? This is the only thing I can do anything about. So what's here? And where am I here for this moment? Am I here to meet this moment? So the time is going to continue to change. And if you haven't anchored that soul capacity to be present, it's going to feel like you're getting thrown around in a hurricane as the energies pick up throughout the summer. And then once we hit fall. Now, I will tell you, when we were in upstate Michigan, all we did is visit falls. We went to a lot of different falls. But part of this is so much of what has been familiar to our human literally starts falling away. We want to ensure for ourselves that we have this being self anchored in us. And that's another thing this can really support us in, is being present. Okay. So what are we going to do? Tomorrow's the 8th. What we know to be true is there's from July 1st through tomorrow, we've had this whole, there's something happening with our skull. Who knows what it is? we've been working with the brain stem down the spine. We've been doing all that, but the skull is really, has been really being worked with. And to help us support us in letting go of these dramas and traumas I'm hearing. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with a protocol that's going to solidify this skull cap and also have the skull. They're showing me right now that the skull can shift, right? Like there's a soft spot in a baby's head, right, when they're born, and that the skull is actually very pliable. It can shift around. They're likening it to the plates, the mantles of the earth. You know how Mother Earth is shifting and changing and adjusting it with the new energy. Well, that's kind of what's going on. They're showing me with our skulls. So given that's true, we've got something that wants to help you here. My Avazzia's name is Emerald. So what I would invite you to do is, if you have your Y bar, plug it into your Avazzia. And again, it's not the end of the world, but I would always put this in and out before you turn on your device. Okay, it's not such a shock, let's say, to the instrument. And go ahead and turn it on. And we're just going to let it default on relax. I've always said relax is about 70 to 75%. And it's true. I don't know what's programmed in there, but those frequencies are very helpful for us. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start, I'm seeing at the base of our skull, right at the top of the spine where that indentation is. And you're going to add intensity, the plus, till you can kind of just lightly feel it. Doesn't have to be a lot. And if this is uncomfortable for anyone, you could also put it with the ball size up and then like find a neck rest, and it would pretty much hold it there. I have a higher chair, but you might have to have a pillow or something, but it will hold it there. And if your arm gets tired, if it doesn't feel good to do this. But I'm going to invite you to just hold it there, close your eyes and tune in. And we're going to consciously take a conscious breath. And what's here to say is going to be skull and bones. Done and known. Ooh. Then just breathe and say skull and bones. Done and known. Skull and bones. Done and known. Now, I don't know what everybody will experience different things. Whatever you experience is perfect for you. I'm just going to share what I noticed. And after that third time, I felt like my skull kind of went like relaxed, like it kind of dropped into a different place. So that's going to be your first step. Then we're going to follow it up, and we're going to go right below the occiput. So the occiput there's a rounded part in the back of our head, and we're going to sit right back there. And what they're sometimes what they're saying would be helpful to say is me, 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 me. So let's go. Me, 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 me. And then breathe. Notice what happens. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. again, I felt that's kind of how I experience my energy shift in my body. Everything kind of like drops and clicks in, but you'll have your own unique experience. So you want to get to know how your body talks to you as the energy moves and shifts. Okay, that's kind of the fun exploratory part of this. All right, the next part we're going to do is the crown. So the top of the head, and this we're just going to make some gentle circles in a clockward motion. My knowing unlocks the clock. Tick tock. My knowing unlocks the clock. Tick tock. My knowing unlocks the clock. Tick tock. Now I literally felt my crown expand after that third time. I felt it like kind of open it up again. So let's just breathe, close our eyes, tune in, and notice how the energy is moving in the body now. And my awareness right away showed me a river flowing pretty quickly is how I was shown how my energy is running. So again, everyone's going to have their unique individual experience. Yours is going to be perfect for you, whatever that is. Do not compare. It's not about that. It's about knowing you. And all we're doing is we're carving out this special time to know us more. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if everybody is liking this. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Next place they're showing is we're going to go right here, but out from the temple. Oh yeah, I get this. My body's always been my sacred temple. I open it up to me. My body's always been my sacred temple. I open it up to me. Oof. Sometimes that's how my body moves. My body has always been my sacred temple. I open it back up to me. I always feel like half my face is like almost not drooping, but just so relaxed. So I want to do the other side. So move it to the other side. And again, I dwell in my temple of love. I dwell in my temple of love. I dwell in my temple of love. My mouth almost, jaw feels like it adjusted. Okay, let's take a breath. And just notice the energy. Actually, to me, my eyes look like they feel clear. That's what I'm experiencing. Anybody else got that going on? Yeah, it's like, woo. Okay, last place they're saying is going to be, we're on our third eye, but we're also, it almost reaches to the top of the skull. And again, in this way, it just feels like whichever way hand wants to massage it, you're just going to go that. I see with true eyes. I see with true eyes. I see with true eyes. Whoa. Now, I'm not sure how long this took, but it's probably what, 8 minutes, maybe? I'm going to open up the lines because I want to hear from people about your experience and what you notice. Because remember, as you share your experience, you bless someone else's journey. Okay, so I'm going to, well, okay, who would like to be first? Trudy?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have felt like my head's been going to blow off all day. I mean, just this incredible, I mean, I knew exactly what it was, but man, I didn't think I used my Avazzia already today, but it didn't dawn on me to use it several more times to alleviate it. Duh, hello. But yeah, I just feel completely different. And I really do feel like the vision, my vision is so much more clear. And this may sound crazy, but I feel more grounded.
Yeah, I do too. I feel more present in my body.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Trudy, for sharing. Patty, why don't you share next?
I felt a lot of flow. Like I maybe my head was stuffed up. I didn't feel like my head was stuffed up, but it just felt like things are freer in there now, and it's moving more freely. Like it has more space to work with. So yeah, I felt like I had a stuffed nose, and I don't anymore, and it was awesome. Thank you.
Oh,
I
you're
didn't know.
welcome. Good.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Patty. All right. How about Chris? Let's hear from you. And before you talk, I just want to introduce you to my other soul sisters here. This is the beautiful Chris Rosman, who her and I met in leadership in 2006. And she ended up coming to Minnesota for the shift and lived there for 2 years. And she's the one I visited in Atlanta last year. So Chris, welcome.
Thank you. And it must be colder in Minnesota because I was sleepless and I see everybody has.
Well, we had a cold front come in.
Okay. I wish I were there. Or, I was more focused on the process, but I do feel better. And I actually used my machine this morning to do a facial. And, but it feels good. I haven't really done one of these before, so I was more focused on the process. But it is funny because my husband on Friday night hit his head really badly, and he went to the ER and he knocked it and he's a big guy, knocked the crap out of it. But it's interesting because you were saying his head has been itchy. And then he knocked the crap out of it. No concussion, no bleeding on the brain. They did CAT scans. And I thought, usually it's the universe saying, go up. And so anyway, but I'm going to share this with him tonight. See if I can.
Yeah, and just I feel like it'll help open up the blood flow and just kind of relax the body more into that alignment of the knowing.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, good. Well, we're so happy that you joined us. So fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for being here. Linda, how about you?
I felt immediately when you said you felt the shift, I did too. And it was like driving a stick shift. You know how when you're driving a car and you're downshifting and you hear the sound and everything kind of slows down a little bit. And then that's how it felt. And then as soon as that happened, I felt the flow going right through my body. And I will say too, that with your, the words that you're speaking and that we spoke as well, the one that really I resonated with was I dwell in my temple of love. It
Mm.
just seemed like the right words to say right now. And so anyhow, I wanted to mention that really struck me as important for me anyhow to say those words. So yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for being here and thanks for sharing. Yeah. Sue, how about you? You got to mute.
I thought you were doing it on your end, sorry.
Oh,
Okay. So as Trudy mentioned, I too this morning had to, typically I do anyway, but these energies are really high for me today. And so the Avazzia is my go-to, always, always. But I love, and can I just comment on the morning and afternoon thing too? I think that's really helpful. I did put something in the chat because I heard you say on another webinar to do 1 hour on and 1 hour off. Is that still appropriate? Or
no,
is
I
that,
really feel like you don't have to treat as much.
I'm just saying in general now with any of the, I'm talking about any of the programs because you said, you know, because there's so many.
The short answer is no, you don't have to do it like that anymore. Because
No,
the body's running the energy so much faster.
Okay. All right. So we could run it for a couple hours and not a deal, right?
No, that again, you can't over treat,
Okay.
but you want to pay attention. More is not better.
No. Okay. I was just, okay. Wanting to be clear on that.
Yep.
No, this was amazing for me. What I really felt too was the diversity in all of the mantras, in particular, the first one with the back of the head. I mean, for me, each one of them offered something just really unique and just, I don't know, really special. Just even the me, they all just had something to offer that took me to another level. Now, I tend to like to write notes, so I probably, when I do this by myself, I'll do this better. But I felt like it was really expansive, as I know a lot of people have said, but yeah, I find the exercise amazing. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. And thanks for sharing, Sue.
Yeah.
Celeste, why don't you share what you experienced? Are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I had trouble getting off mute. Yeah, my head's, nice and tingly. It feels expanded, but I also feel more grounded also.
Nice.
Yeah, and I enjoyed the mantras too and the whole protocol.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that, like, for me, remember, I don't necessarily know what I'm going to do. That kind of came in as we were doing it. I didn't, last time I had some ahead of time because it was very explicit. This, I just had to show up and let it come in. So, but that's why it's really powerful for me to hear what your experience is of it, because, as we get out of the way and just allow whatever's here to dance with us in the moment, that's where all the magic shows up. That's where all the thing is, all the shifting can occur. And I just feel like when you go back and watch the replay, you might want to see how people's faces change too, because it just feels like you guys are all glowing more. Like, to me, I can experience your energy and it just feels like everybody got brighter too. So I would say, do this. I'd for sure do it tomorrow. Support. And do it 3 days in a row. And then from there, do as you feel. You do want to follow up with, again, water, lemon water, Epsom salt bath. Part of what we're doing with this consciousness protocols is we're detoxing. Now, I will share with you my code of detox is D is the fourth letter of the alphabet, which is unity, unite, unify, talking, talk, detox. The D is talking. So part of it is this unifying within the body and without is unifying, and we're flushing our field, our cells and ourself of illusion. And so following up with like detox tea or like I said, however you want to continue to move the energy and let those illusionary toxins leave your body, that would be helpful too. So, well, I just want to say thanks for showing up. We do have this huge shift that's going to come in about an hour and 40 minutes at 9:30. If you've been part of the forecast, you know that. I shared that this morning, and it's going to go till 10:26. So if you are able to just kind of rest and let your body let go as much as possible, let the energies that are here to gift us do what they're here to do. And that means we get out of the way. And sometimes laying down is the best way to do that. If you want to go into your rest time, that's great too. But just kind of really ask to maximize this flush that we're getting here in this upgrade. So thanks again, everybody. It seems like these are being well received. So I am committed to continue doing these at least twice a month and kind of keep everybody up to pace with the now energy and how Avazzia is speaking to us now through this great shift of change. Mwah. Heart hugs, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.